Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. My name is Dr. Everton A. Ennis. I am the pastor of New Jerusalem Seventh-day Adventist Praise and Worship Center here in Douglasville, Georgia, where I live. I'm also the pastor of the Noonan First Seventh-day Adventist Church in Noonan, also in Georgia. And on Mondays, I take a day off from my pastoral work. And one of my hobbies is I like to work on my cars. I have a 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan. I put some pictures and a few posts on Facebook in time past. This is my first time that I'll be posting a video of some of the stuff I do. So my car, the 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan, this is Old Faithful. I've been driving this car since 2003. It has over 332,000 miles. I have a used motor that I put inside of this back in December of 2014. I still have the original transmission in there, and many people are surprised by that. Transmission works very, very well. And the engine I had to change because there were some situations that developed and that it became less expensive to change the engine. So I bought an engine for $400. Actually, I bought an engine for $825, an engine out of a 2002 Plymouth Voyager that only had 59,000 miles on it. So I have a solid engine that I'm running in this car right now, and it's a 3.3 liter engine. And I just want to share with you what I'm doing here today. The car had been riding somewhat rough in terms of vibrations, especially when you come to a standstill and it's in drive. It would vibrate violently. If I put it in neutral, then the shaking, the vibration would stop. So that means the transmission being disengaged from the engine quieted the car down, and that immediately kind of gave me the idea it was my motor mounts and my transmission mounts. Now, how you determine the direction or the place or position in a vehicle is the manufacturer has you sitting in the driver's side seat, the driver's seat looking forward through the windshield. Now when you're looking through the windshield, anything on your left hand side, that's considered the left side of the car, including what's in the engine compartment. So if you are standing outside of the vehicle looking inside the engine compartment like I'm doing right now, normally this side would be the right hand side. However, when you're talking shop, that's the left side of the car, because you're in the driver's side seat looking forward through the windshield. That's lesson number one. Between the engine and the firewall down below, we have the rear motor mount. And in order to get there both safely as well as efficiently, I needed to remove the wiper, the whole housing that would go here. So that's on the floor in the shop on the other side of this car. So that gives me good access. This is also what you would do and recommended by the manufacturer if you wanted to change your spark plugs and your spark plug wires in this V6 3.3 liter engine. The 3 spark plugs and wires are on the rear. Getting there with the cowling in is somewhat cumbersome. And the larger your hand, the more difficult it is to work behind there. Also, to get to the left side motor mount, which actually holds up the transmission, this is on the battery side of the car. I needed to remove the battery. The battery is on the floor, and also the battery tray. Of course, when you're taking out your battery, you want to make sure you disconnect your negative terminal first, and then you remove the positive. You remove the battery, place it in a safe environment, make sure it cannot be discharged. Then, to get out the right side motor mount, I had to remove the air filter box to be able to get to that motor mount right here. This is actually the most easily seen one, the one on the right hand side. And again, right hand side, if you're sitting in the driver's seat looking forward through the windshield, this would be the right side of the car where the washer fluid reservoir and the radiator cap are located. So that's what I've done so far. I've done some other prep work, but I will show you step by step, best I can, when I remember to move the camera so that you can see how I'm going to do this. Some safety guidelines, by the way. To get to the motor mounts, you have to raise the engine or support the engine using the jack, preferably a scissors jack that came with this car. I do have a regular shock jack, but the way that it is made is not the best thing to use to hoist or support the oil pan on your engine or the transmission pan under the bottom of your transmission, because you're not looking to puncture or dent those particular fluid pans under there. So the best thing to do is use a scissors jack, and that go slow comes up, and using a piece of plywood or some other wood that's laid flat gives you more surface area to raise and to support your engine as you loosen these bolts. Now I'm going to take the camera. Once I loosen the bolts, I'll show you what I'm doing from that point. Now I should tell you that working on my car is one of my hobbies. This is the wood I was talking about, just a regular flat piece of wood, plywood or a piece of pine or something, just to make sure you get a better surface area to lay underneath your oil pan for the engine, if that's what you're supporting, or the transmission pan on the tranny side. Okay, so right now we're looking down into the engine compartment here. This is the right side of the engine. Remember, again, the right side is calculated as sitting in the driver's side seat looking forward through the windshield. So the right side is calculated from inside the car, not outside the car where I'm standing. And so this is the right side motor mount. This is positioned both on the frame of the vehicle here, as well as it holds up the engine on this side. Now I have to loosen these two bolts set in the frame. These two bolts, hope you can see those. I'm using my Sony video cam with video lights that I use for my studio. I produce DVDs on congregational conflict resolution training. That's what my doctoral degree specialty is in. I teach churches how to live the gospel of peace. And so here we go. This is part of the motor mount, and you see I have 1, 2, and if I could see the other one, there's a third. There we go. There's a third. Let's see if we can position the camera. Don't know if you can see that well, but there's a third bolt down there that we need to loosen. So we loosen 5 bolts on the right side motor mount on this 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan. Okay, so I have removed the right side motor mount. This is the one that I just took out, and this is the new part, the replacement part. Now if you notice the rubber, look at the height between this frame and the rubber, the height of the rubber as compared to this one, and you will see immediately the gap and the big difference that there is in terms of height. And so this is a well-worn part, and no wonder the engine would vibrate the way that it did. This is a big difference, and so we're gonna go forward now with the install. All right, see you soon. All right, so what I have here now in my hand is a very technical tool. This bar, it looks like a breaker bar, but it's not. This is my torque wrench. The torque wrench, it's very sensitive. You do not want to drop this. Every do-it-yourself auto mechanic needs to have a torque wrench, because if you don't, it means you are guesstimating how much you should tighten your nuts and bolts. You don't want to do that and get in a car and then drive that car. So safety first, remember. And this goes to helping you meet the manufacturer's specifications as to how tight a particular bolt or nut needs to be tightened. All right, that one is set. All right, that one, you heard that clicking sound. That's how you know that it's torqued to the predetermined specification. There you go. Up here is a little bit easier to work with, as this is the top. There we go. There we go. All right, so one motor mount down. That's done. Okay, again everybody, so I'm now working on the second motor mount. Just want to remind you that I had done the first one some time ago, the one in the front, and so I'm working on 3 today. The V6 engine. It carries 4 motor mounts to the 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan. And by the way, this same information can be used for the town and country from about 2001 to about 2005. Same thing with the Dodge Grand Caravan. Same vehicle basically. And so this is the left side motor mount that you're looking at right here. Now the way to get to this is probably the simplest one to work with. I went underneath, removed the battery tray from the vehicle. Now let me take you around to the outside just a little bit, show you what I've done since the last section. To get to the left side motor mount and to get to the bolt, the through bolt that's in the frame of the vehicle, you've got to go through this hole up underneath what we call the wheel housing or the wheel well. To do that, I had to get the cowling. This is the cowling from underneath the wheel well. This is the black stuff, the liner that you see when you take your tire off. And I had to take that off to get to the hole, to get to that bolt. You probably can see that bolt up there through that access hole. All right, let me get to work and see if I can loosen up the left side engine mount. Okay, my friends, so this is the left side motor mount that I just took out from under the car. Now look at all the damage. This mount has not been changed since this has been riding for over 332,000 miles. Look at it carefully. You can see right through it, lots of pieces of rubber missing. Now look at the replacement part. This is the brand new motor mount that's going in. If you see, there's a vast difference, isn't that right? Big difference right there. See my fingers coming through in this one is all right. So I'm going to go ahead now and do the install. So I finished the left side or the driver's side engine mount. Now I'm going to do the last one, and that's the one in the rear up by the firewall. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the rear motor mount. If you see, this thing had never been taken out of this 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan. It is totally bust. It wasn't holding anything, and no wonder we had all the vibrations that we had. This thing has come apart, and this is what the new part looks like. If you see that there's a major difference in terms of the wholesomeness. Speaking of wholesomeness, as though we're using H-O-L-E, but nonetheless, this is the replacement part. I'm going to put this in now. All right, welcome back. So now I've reinstalled the air filter box, the air intake duct, crankcase ventilation hose. So I am reinstalling my battery tray. Pretty much the work is done. I changed out 3 motor mounts, and I done one late last year on the front, and so I'm just fitting stuff back together and we're ready to go. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.